Hello and welcome to News Round, where we do you a recap of stories that made headlines during the week. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. Here are the headlines. House of Representatives experiences rowdy session over controversial tax reform bill. Senate leadership holds action on tax bill, sets meeting with Attorney General of the Federation. University of Lagos alumni commemorates 55th anniversary with thought-provoking lecture. Plus, protests call for South Korean president's arrest over martial law. That's News Round in view. We begin News Round in the Green Chamber, where it appears the last has not been heard of the controversy trailing President Bola Tinubu's tax reform bill, which is currently before the National Assembly. The House of Representatives experienced a rowdy session when a member of the House from Ekiti State, Mr. Akinrotimi, touched on the controversial tax reform bill. The lawmaker, in moving a motion for consideration of two reports, had introduced himself as being from Ekiti State, the first state to adopt the tax reform bills.
It is the first plenary session of the week in the House of Representatives. The day begins with motions of urgent national importance, one of which is on the urgent need to investigate the mass retirement of over 1,000 staff of the Central Bank of Nigeria.
The House further concerned that such as a significant decision has socio-economic implications for the affected individual, their dependents, and the broader economy, potentially leading to increased unemployment and public dissatisfaction.
Next, the attention of the House is drawn to the increasing rate of boat mishaps across the country.
Concerned that if nothing is done to improve the safety and emergency response systems, Nigeria will continue to face psychological health trauma, economic losses, and untimely deaths.
In the meantime, the House is urging the President to mandate the Minister of Finance to unfreeze the accounts of the National Social Investment Programs Agency within 72 hours.
The smooth operation of the programs and the fulfillment of the mandate of INSEPA are hindered due to the suspension, freezing of the accounts of the agency and other administrative bottlenecks, which has remained in force even more than 3 months after the President reconstituted the new management of INSEPA.
Order, please.
What seems like an easygoing session suddenly turns rowdy when the spokesperson of the House, while moving for the consideration of a report, brings up the controversial tax reform bills.
I'm from Ekiti State, the very first state in which our National Assembly caucus has unanimously endorsed the tax bills. Mr. Speaker, I rise on behalf of Honorable Boma Goodhead. Mr. Speaker, please, thank you. Order, please. Order.
The rowdy session is sustained despite the intervention of the Speaker and an apology from the lawmaker.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to withdraw that introduction, sir. Honorable colleagues, I would like to withdraw that introduction and restrict it to the order paper. This has nothing to do with the tax bills.
Honorable Akinrotimi yields and steps down the consideration of the report.
I seek the leave of the House and Mr. Speaker to step down because the presentation of this report until the next legislative day, Mr. Speaker.
However, the aggrieved lawmakers are not done, as they call for the resignation of the deputy spokesperson of the House over a publication.
I woke up this morning to see an online publication from the deputy spokesman of the House. Read as the content, or the heading read as, the newspaper is Daily Trust. And it reads, those who oppose to tax reform bill now seeking speedy passage. This should be produced, or we are calling for his resigning from the spokesperson or deputy spokesperson of this House. We will make sure that all your concerns with this publication is well noted by the House and the right action will be taken.
Despite the tense atmosphere, the House passes the North Central Development Commission Establishment Bill and adopts the report of the Conference Committee of the House and the Senate on the amendment of the NDLEA Act to provide for life sentence for punishment of drug peddling, as against the death penalty initially passed by the Senate. Terry Ikumi, Channels Television News.
Still on the tax reform bill, the Senate has directed its Committee on Finance to suspend further action on the proposed bill pending the outcome of the meeting with the Attorney General of the Federation. The Deputy Senate President, Senator Barao Jibrin, who made the announcement during plenary, disclosed that the special committee has been constituted to address contentious issues in the bill. The decision follows a series of deliberations by lawmakers aimed at resolving disagreements over key provisions in the proposed legislation. Now, despite passing the second reading at the Senate, President Bola Tinubu's tax reform bill has continued to generate controversies across the country. The most vocal opposition have been from northern governors who claim the bill is against the north. At the town hall organized by Channels Television, some of the concerns came to the fore as participants discussed the implications of the tax bill on the country's tax system and the economy in general.
Is the special town hall on tax reform bills.
It's a gathering of experts, including tax practitioners, politicians, journalists, economists, and their mission is to discuss and address some of the controversies that have greeted the 4 tax reform bills that have now scaled second reading at the Senate. Opening the floor is the man whose team produced the controversial tax bills, the chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, and for the obtained time, he explains the objective of the bills.
There will be exemption from withholding tax. Also for small businesses, they don't have to charge withholding tax, neither do they have to deduct it on their vendors. There will be exemption for them in terms of deducting withholding tax from their vendors. They will not have to account for VAT when they invoice their customers. They will have the opportunity of simplified accounts that does not have to be audited to reduce the cost of doing business for them should they have to file returns.
According to him, rather than the opposition against the bills in some quarters, especially state governments, the states should actually embrace the bills because of what they stand to gain.
These bills will also allow states to enjoy tax exemption should they issue bonds. Today, federal government bond is tax exempt. State government bond is not tax exempt. These bills are trying to correct that inequity. We must recognize that this is a federation and we must empower this.
After that, there were interceptions from the panelists who all claimed to have gone through the entire bills before arriving at the decisions.
The issue of VAT, I think we might need to think about VAT going to 15% in medium term. To my mind, 7.5% VAT, I agree, is among the lowest. But when you look at our income capacity now, as a country, our GDP just lost 250% of its shares from 400 billion to about 200 billion. No text to exchange rate. There is nothing the committee can do about that.
In my own just simple arithmetic, the people of Sokoto should be clapping and singing to the high heavens that now they have an opportunity for them to add value. The same thing with my state, Kano.
It was not all a pat on the back for Mr. Oyedele and his team, as some concerns were raised on the process of leading to the drafting of the bills.
Free zone community has a concern about that bill, and many people have not addressed this. Even you have not addressed it while explaining the work of the committee to the National Assembly. I want to state that while the intention of government and your committee to modernize the tax framework in Nigeria is salutary, I want to say to you that some sections of that bill, that is the Nigerian Tax Bill 2024, some sections that are in that bill are inimical to the survival of the Nigerian free zone scheme.
With more engagements expected to follow before the bills eventually become law, it is expected that the reservations about the bills will be laid to rest to pave the way for its implementation.
to chip in a few things.
Now, the University of Lagos alumni is challenging Nigerians to play their roles in developing the country. Now, this message resonated as the association commemorated its 55th anniversary with a thought-provoking lecture held at the J.F. Adeajayi Auditorium within the university campus in Akoka, themed Nation Building in the Deregulated Economy, a clarion call for citizens. The event brought together prominent personalities and thought leaders to deliver an insightful address that explored ways for active citizen participation in economic and national development.
Great Akoka! Great Akoka! Greatest of the greatest of the greatest of the greatest!
That's the mood, the energy in this auditorium as the University of Lagos Alumni Association brings together old and new students for the 55th anniversary lecture. The president of the University of Lagos Alumni Association, Engineer Ifeoluwa Oyedele, is the chief host. He appeals for greater involvement of alumni members in maintaining the leadership status of the school.
I also want to appeal to all of you to ensure that we begin to attract all of the alumni of this university to come back to this university to help. There's no university in the world that is run strictly from money doled out by the university.
The immediate past president of the Alumni Association, Dr. John Momo, is the chairman of the event. He speaks on the importance of leveraging alumni networks for societal impact and nation building.
For 55 years, our university has been a shining example of academic excellence, of innovation, and of resilience. It has produced leaders, trailblazers, and change makers in virtually every sector of society. Many of us here today owe much of our success to the solid foundation we received within these walls. At 55, the University of Lagos is standing tall. The number 55 is significant. It is considered to be a powerful symbol of change, success, progress, fortune, and spiritual growth.
The Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Folashade Ogunshola, expresses her gratitude to the ever-present Alumni Association.
I have to say that the University of Lagos has been lucky in its alumni. You have been great, you have supported us, but I can always tell you that as the university, we will be coming back for more. We will always ask for more. The country has gone through a lot of challenges, and it has impacted the university as well. But we stand today because we refuse to give up. The resilience of the staff within these walls, that the University of Lagos will not go down. The resilience, the passion with which people bring to their work, and with which the alumni has supported us, cannot be underestimated.
It's time for the keynote address. Dr. Mutiu Sumonu, a man who wears many hats, delivered the message, making the clarion call.
There is no place like home, but home don't come furnished and comfortable and complete. They need to be built and nurtured, just like nations. And we must build this one together, irrespective of tribe, religion, age, or gender.
The universities are actually run not only by government, but mainly by endowment and interest of the alumni.
I would like to recognize on this occasion Professor Inyada, Kunle Inyada. It's about history. He was a classmate of Mr. Anjorin, who established this Alumni Association 55 years ago.
The University of Lagos Alumni Association Anniversary Lecture, already a tradition, offers a platform for robust discussions, meaningful connections, and the exchange of practical solutions to challenges facing the nation. Dari Ido, Channels Television News.
When Newsround returns, we take a look at the next episode of Channels Television's social impact entrepreneurship reality show, Funded Forward, this Sunday. Join us again. Thanks for staying with us. Let's now turn our attention to the ongoing second season of Channels Television's social impact entrepreneurship reality show, Funded Forward, where change agents are competing for 55 million naira prize money. In the next episode, scheduled for this Sunday, some agents close big deals, including one worth over 100 million naira. This report goes behind the director's camera to preview that episode.
It's week 4 of Channels TV's competitive social entrepreneurship reality show, Funded Forward, Season 2. And the agents have transitioned from pitching their sustainable businesses to driving for results in the real world. The ideas have been incubated and energized through the show's masterclasses and trainings. So the show part is over, and these agents are experiencing real-life sink or swim moments. This next episode, scheduled for Sunday, December 8th, will capture a special moment for one of the agents, Chioma Okpabi, who is the co-founder of Sook Technologies, a platform that is helping to reshape skills acquisition and vocational landscape in Nigeria.
Okay, I believe in what you guys are doing because I watch the testimonials, I follow you guys up, and we will be making an angel payment by tomorrow.
She has closed a deal worth over 100 million naira. She describes the moment as filled with mixed emotions.
Like it was, I don't know, you know that moment when you're just feeling surprised, shocked, tensed at the same time. That was how I felt at that moment.
While it was her original idea, she acknowledged the glaring impact of the Funded Forward mentorship and masterclasses.
Every single facilitator that has actually come to give us a masterclass, presentation has come with something very valuable, right? Now, I would not say it was just the facilitator that spoke to us about partnership, sponsorship, and investment, but I would say every single facilitator from supply side, enterprise story, because if we didn't have facilitators that taught us about enterprise story, I don't think I would have had the right word to be able to, speak to that, partner to come in, right?
She's not the only one with a big ace up her sleeve this week. 24-year-old Israel Kende has his own winnings to count as well. In partnership with a Nigerian university, his Luck Book Limited has secured over $250,000 plus other wins to scale his e-reading platform.
Screen grabbing and
he's also much closer to actualizing a trailblazing social impact of creating the world's first battery and glare-free e-reading device.
Yeah, so that's just one of the many ones that we've gotten, and that's just locally, right? Even globally, I can tell you that we are so much more closer to our vision than ever because it's all looking like it's just going to, happen, right? Like, it's no more a mirage, right? We've gotten several deals, right? And one of it has come from Autodesk, which is a multinational company that handles engineering, and they produce some of the best industry software, I think CAD and a lot of others. And so, because we have a working partnership to produce an e-reader hardware for our customers, right? So that schools can put in their libraries and students can have, right? So the software is very expensive because it comes with a lot of features, right? We've gotten that software, which it's called the Nastran software anyway. So it's cost normally hundreds of thousands of dollars, but because of the exposure that we've gotten through this program and the fact that we've been able to collaborate with certain research institutions also locally, right? We are able to, get that software, right, for free, actually.
12 agents have walked into the show with beautiful business ideas, some with foundation works already done. And in these past 4 weeks, they've grown visibly, and one person has witnessed the growth firsthand.
I see them
totally different. From the first week, you see the growth, you can almost see it, like just almost touch it. From the first week to the second week, down to just the different weeks, just watching them grow and become more mature in person and, of course, with their ideas as well.
This season has a cumulative 55 million naira prize money for grabs across the top 3 spots. But it feels like the biggest win for these agents is the opportunities to subject their startups to real-life stress tests under the watchful eyes of top consultants and judges. The full episode 4 of Funded Forward Season 2 will air this Sunday, Channels Television.
And we end news round in South Korea, where demonstrations are continuing in the country to kick against the martial law as hundreds gather outside the country's National Assembly demanding the arrest of President Yoon Suk-yeol. Protests were also seen inside the National Assembly, where opposition lawmakers converged, chanting slogans to arrest the president. Fearing another attempt to declare martial law, opposition lawmakers rotated through Parliament's plenary session hall to block any such attempt. A motion has been submitted by the main opposition Democratic Party to impeach President Yoon, and a vote scheduled in Parliament for Saturday evening. The opposition have a majority in the 300-seat Parliament but need the support of at least 8 ruling party MPs to secure the 200 votes required for the impeachment motion to pass. And that's News Round. Many thanks for watching. I'm Ayo Tunde Balu.